Hello.
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 Hello. Thank you for stopping by the most random channel on YouTube. By far. Maybe. But tonight, I wanted to talk about a topic that could be an interest to you. Well, the long intro is one of them. Well, I don't want to, you saw that already, so if you hung around for the long intro, cool. You probably have time. Also, I wanted to talk about Tubi, Tubi. The shows on there are awesome. I like the Commish. Commish is an awesome show. And then there's a show from like the 1960s, early 70s called Dark Shadows. It's a vampire. I think Johnny Depp starred in the movie back in like 2012 or something like that. And it was based off that show where he was a vampire that came like 200 years after, was in the grave for 200 years, and he was resurrected, or he resurrected himself, or whatever. I don't know. Came back, and he comes across as a nice guy, but Dark Shadows is a good show. Also, there's lots of shows. Do I have to go? But just think of the stuff that if you're old enough, you remember that there was nothing hardly any. Whatever was on TV was on. I remember when you had to. The only time you could trust was the only time you could watch something was with cable. Now, if you're someone that's younger, like if you're born past 2000 or 2005, you probably don't even remember. You wouldn't have remembered. But there was a time like in the 90s, even early 2000s, up into about 2005, maybe even a little longer, maybe about to 2009, you had to have a TV to watch TV. But it's crazy how the world's changed with everything's connected. And social media, of course, has been there since 2005. Now, to somebody that's younger, if you're watching this, you're thinking, 2005, that was a long, long time ago. But someone that's older, wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's still a while ago, of course, but I certainly remember, and I didn't think of anything of it. It's like, it is what it is. It was whatever was on TV, whatever was on local station for watch sports. You could only watch a certain amount. It's like, up until they had Dish. Dish was probably, our satellite, I think it was. That was around the 1970s, 1980s, but that was a lot of money though back then too. You had a lot of the technology costs a lot more back then than it does now. So yeah, Nowadays, there's everything. Everybody has technology, so they can reduce the price, so they can make more profit. Back then, you have to charge an arm and a leg just to get a big cell phone, like a big. And they introduced that like the mid '80s, mid 1980s, as is when it was you had the big block phone, and that cost a lot of money. I think my neighbor had that back then, where he had a big block phone. Back then in the 1980s, when you had to call individuals, sir, yes sir, no sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. Now it's like you can just call anybody what you want by your first name. You don't call anybody Mr. or Mrs. nowadays, but they still show respect, of course. But I'm not saying that back then you had to say Mr. or Mrs. You never could say their first name, just like at school. So anyway, all right. Thanks for watching.